So here it is, our first review of 2018. And I'm gonna start by apologizing for this big, look at this big blob of light, right? I've had a bit of a reshuffle on my lounge. I'm just trying to find somewhere to put the light, and it's tough to find the place to put the light at the moment. And I'm hoping next time I come back, that big orange blob will be gone. But for now, it will have to do. If you like the big orange blob, let us know in a comment and it will stay, all right? Just thinking about you viewers, what's better for you to look at. All right, so that's the apologies out of the way. Like I said, this is the first review of 2018. I have not been to the Odeon for about 3 weeks. I've finally come out of hibernation. The Last Jedi, it made me physically ill. It really did. I was ill for 2 weeks over Christmas. I'm blaming Star Wars. And being ill over Christmas and being sick for like 2 weeks over Christmas also meant that I couldn't travel down south and spend Christmas with my family. It also meant that I couldn't get a haircut down south as well. So by the end of last month, I was like proper needing a haircut. I was starting to look like I could just be a teacher. I wasn't really in the state to really talk to anyone or go to a salon to like book anything, so I went on the Electric Hair website. Now I'm plugging this because I've never used it before and it was so simple to use. I basically just filled in when I'd like to have the hair appointment, send a little message, and literally within, I think it's about an hour or so, they got back to me. It's like it was such a quick process, and this really quick way of booking it, it just really like saved me all the hassle of just like going to the salon to book it or phone them up, because like saying when you're sick, you just don't want to do anything. And this online booking with Electric Hair, it was just so stress-free during my sick period that I felt like I just had to mention this, because like they're good at doing my hair. Look, I've got a good haircut. So if you're also in a place where you don't want to talk to anyone, or if you don't want to go into a salon and speak to anyone, you can do it all online. You can book your hair appointment at Electric Hair through their website. Anyway, so why I'm mentioning this is because Electric Hair are sponsoring this review today. So while you're watching the first part of this trailer for All the Money in the World, check out the Electric Hair website as well. And I'll see you after this.
You carry a gun, Mr. Chase?
I never bothered. Ruins the line of your suit.
You used to be a spy.
My child is a prisoner.
$17 million. All they will take is eye, his ear, the hand, and don't tell me you don't have the money.
My former father-in-law only buys the best. It's time for you to do whatever it is he pays you to do. Let's hope you're half as good as everything else he's bought.
We need to pay the ransom, Mr. Getty.
I do not have the money to spare.
No one has ever been richer than you are at this moment. What would it take for you to feel secure?
More.
All right, so All the Money in the World. As you can see from the trailer, it's inspired by true events. And the story is of, it's John Paul Getty. Now he's like a billionaire, he's got loads of money, all the money in the world. Now his 16-year-old grandson, I think it was John or it's Paul, he gets called Paolo and Paul in the film, so I think it's Paul. His 16-year-old grandson, Paul, he gets kidnapped and the kidnappers want $17 million ransom money. The granddad refuses to pay the kidnappers. Now the title, All the Money in the World, now that line is brought up quite a few times during the film, and I wasn't really familiar with the story. I hadn't heard about this kidnapping before, I didn't know anything about it. So for me, going in not knowing what happens, it was kind of fun and exciting to watch the film to see if the grandson would actually be able to get back to his family again. And personally, I really like this movie because it really dealt with how, like, the positives and the negatives of money. It shows how you can have so much money and it can just make you so isolated from everyone, and how you can have no money at all and how you just want to commit crime, kidnap people. The film really does paint a picture of like what money does mean to different people, which is something I really loved about the film, because I think that all of us think if we had so much money it would just make our life so much easier, but then you've got this billionaire who's just got everything, but his life's just not a good one, and he hasn't been a good father to his own kid. So yeah, I found the subject matter really interesting to watch. I found the heart of the story, the spine of the story, like money, was a really interesting subject to be covered in the film. I know everyone's thinking it's just about this grandkid that's like kidnapped and, you know, held for ransom. But I think the script really delves into the darker side of money. So as a story, I really like this film. But also really helped was that all the acting was really great. I have to say that, yeah, Mark Wahlberg, you see Mark Wahlberg and everything, he's kind of got this like stereotype thing going on where he's always like this brash, not so bright bloke from Boston. He seems to play that role quite a lot. But I think Mark Wahlberg's role in this film, it just showed he had a bit more range than that. Michelle Williams, she, I felt, was the best performer in this whole film. If you're going to see this film, she's really good. I really felt that she stood out from the rest of the cast. And of course there's Christopher Plummer, who was like there to replace Kevin Spacey. And this is something I have to talk about. For those of you that don't know, basically with the Kevin Spacey scandal, I think it happened in November last year, so like literally a couple of months back, or less than a couple of months back. Ridley Scott decided to go and shoot all of Kevin Spacey, because Kevin Spacey played JP Getty, and basically he wanted to replace Kevin Spacey with another actor. Now apparently, according to like one of the producers or someone involved in the film, they told director Ridley Scott that this is impossible. The film was coming out in like less than 2 months. Remember, this Kevin Spacey thing happened back in November. The film came out yesterday, the 5th of January. And knowing they had to reshoot some of this film, I think this is one of the other reasons why I wanted to go and see this film. I was convinced they would CGI Christopher Plummer's head over Kevin Spacey's head. And the more I was watching the film, I was noticing that Christopher Plummer's just in it more than I was expecting. I thought, okay, they went and reshot these scenes with Christopher Plummer like in less than 2 months and put it into the film, changed all the opening titles, end credits, everything in less than 2 months. But as the film went on, there was just more and more scenes from more than I was expecting from Christopher Plummer. So many scenes. And I looked it up when I got home, and it was apparently Ridley Scott, he organised a 9-day shoot. They did all of Christopher Plummer's stuff in 9 days. No CGI was used. And you know what? When you know that, and you've seen the film, it's impressive. So that's another tick for the film. I just really, really liked it for that reason. The fact that they managed to pull off reshooting a lot of the film to get out for a January 5th release date. One of the producers said it was impossible, but Ridley Scott, I think he's just proved that anything is possible. And moving on to like bad points to the film, there was no bad points in terms of story, acting, directing, anything like that. The bad point I felt was the length of the film. It's 2 hours 10 minutes, but it feels like you're sat there for so much longer than that. It's got a really good pace to the film, but it felt long. So just a little tip, if you're gonna go and see this film, make sure you go to the toilet beforehand, and when you're in there, try to get as comfortable as you can. And it's one of those films where you wanna be like somewhere like your couch, watching it, somewhere as comfy as your couch to watch it. You really need to like settle in to watch this one. So yeah, first review of 2018. I love this movie. I'd probably watch it again when it comes out on Netflix or whatever. And the film truly does. It really makes you aware of the power of money. So go and see all of the money in the world in some of the Odeons in the UK.
Tell him I'm coming.